Hey, welcome to this side-by-side comparison of the new release of the Mario Sunshine for the Switch in the 3D collection versus the Gamecube version, which I am playing on a Wii, running through a Framemeister with HD cables and some proper Wii settings. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is the upper left is the Gamecube version running on a Wii, which my understanding is virtually the same or more optimal output for playing your Gamecube games. That is using a Wii with, as I said, some upscaling technology. And it's much dimmer is the first thing you're going to notice. So I apologize. That may be my settings, or my Wii may have possibly a problem outputting at the correct brightness. Trust me, I have the profiles set on my Framemeister to really buff the brightness up for everything I play on my GameCube or Wii, because I've noticed this for a long time, and maybe sometime I'll get another Wii and do a side-by-side recording comparison for my own edification and find out if it is indeed my Wii, which I put a ton of mileage on, more than almost any other consumer you're going to meet. Played virtually every Wii game of any note for many, many hours, so I may have worn it out to some degree. It's hard to say. Also, never done a side-by-side graphical comparison before, and I'm no expert on this. So this is kind of a layperson's like side-by-side eyeball view, and I did my best to try and replicate the play similar in both windows of this first area of Sunshine, so that you kind of get a side-by-side comparison, but it was virtually impossible for me to do the same moves in a quick playthrough, and I was basically played the GameCube version and then played the Switch version bottom right and tried to imitate it while watching it in another window. So you're going to see they're not synced up exactly, but I mostly tried to stick to the same areas so you can kind of get a look at the textures and the way the game might look a little different for you. And this was a little bit of an experiment, as I said, and it's really hard to get past the brightness differences, but you can certainly see the HD resolution changes that they've done here for the Switch version. It looks better overall. If it doesn't come through immediately in the video, if you've been waiting to play Sunshine or waiting to replay it in a better format, this is indubitably better, at least based on my comparison. Now, I did not go and plug in my original GameCube and take a look, and again, I don't really have proper recording technology to do it off a GameCube. It's much easier to do it with the Wii and do a side-by-side here, or to try and do an eyeball comparison of a CRT GameCube comparison, because I don't have HD cables for my GameCube, and so again I default to my Wii. But everything really looks a lot better. There's not a lot to say here, and I was struggling with things to come up with to even remark on to make this a more interesting video. It's really about the graphics. It's really that you can see the water textures, of course, look a lot better. It's always the first thing you look at, right? And overall, cutscenes or gameplay, it just looks a little sharper. It looks a little cleaner, and the colors are a little bit more modern and refined. Again, apologizing that I'm not 100% sure if that could be something wrong with my actual Wii and the output of the graphics. If you're curious, the sound that you're hearing is actually from the GameCube version, so if you're watching the Switch version, you might notice the sound is not synced correctly, and that's because I don't think you'd want to hear both sounds at once, since the videos aren't identical matches.
Use the R button to shoot water from my tank.
I didn't spend a lot of time looking at the cutscenes. I looked at them a little bit in the recording that I'm not showing here for the movies that introduced the game and such, because even if there was some improvement there, or lack thereof, I don't think it's what any of us are really here for, cutscenes in a Mario game, or the cinematic sequences. We're here for the gameplay, and I've played about 5 to 10 hours of Sunshine all the way through the first world and a lot of the hub world into the second world, and I can confirm it's worth your money. If that's what you're here for, is it worth your money? Yes, the answer is yes. Especially if you've never played Sunshine, it's one a lot of people may have skipped. It's definitely the midpoint between 64 Mario. Feels like a proper sequel to 64 Mario in a lot of ways when I play it now. I know some people aren't a fan of Flood, the jetpack, water pack. I am. Love it a lot. Always have. Always thought it was really fun and unique mechanic. But just the level design and the look of a lot of things and some of the physics and other stuff feels a lot like Mario 64 to me. Not exactly the same, certainly not. Certainly a lot of changes you're going to notice if you're a first timer in this series. Mario has some of his acrobatic moves that have changed and replaced with Flood controls. And there's some struggling with the camera control you're going to do, especially when you compare it to modern games. It's a little different the way you have to control Flood and also control the camera at the same time. And so there's a little bit of a learning curve that even I, who played through in 100% of the game long ago when it was first released for Gamecube, have to struggle with and get used to how you control Flood. You have a button to hold yourself stationary while you shoot Flood, and you can also shoot Flood while running. And then you have to also be able to hover and do all sorts of other things. Now here, the sound went dead because I was using GameCube sound, and I got ahead in that playthrough, so I decided to pause it, as you can see in this playback recording, so that we can get the ending scenes synced up together, which is coming up in about 30 seconds. So I apologize for that. Maybe I will fix the sound before I publish it, so you may be hearing sound actually here after all. Here we got it synced again, so you can see the final cutscene side by side. Just gonna look at it. You can really see the blurring and the heat wave, so to speak, on the plane there. Probably masking the lack of HD quality a little bit. Sort of a draw distance blur effect. Thanks for watching. Ask away with questions, and if you have any tips for better use of my Framemeister or my Wii through the Framemeister, I welcome them.